There is something else that makes these silent goodbyes so difficult. You never get the chance to become the version of yourself you wish they had known. Maybe you've grown since then. You've learned how to communicate better. Maybe you've healed the parts of yourself that once reacted from fear instead of understanding. And sometimes you wish they could meet this version of you. Not so they'll come back, just so they'd know you weren't always the person they left behind. But healing has a strange way of teaching us something we never expected. Growth isn't proven by getting another chance with the same person.
It's proven by becoming someone who no longer needs it. That's one of the hardest lessons love ever teaches. Because when we're hurting, we think closure comes from another conversation.
In reality, closure often comes from becoming someone who no longer needs that conversation to feel whole. Have you ever noticed how memories change over time? At first, you remember everything: their voice, their laugh, the way they looked at you, the songs, the places, the inside jokes. Every little detail feels impossible to forget. Then one day, without realizing it, you struggle to remember the exact sound of their voice. Their face becomes a little blurrier. The memories lose their sharp edges. At first, that can feel frightening, like you're losing them all over again. But you're not. You're making room for yourself again. Grief doesn't always look like crying. Sometimes grief looks like slowly clearing the space someone once occupied in your mind, not because they weren't important, but because your life is asking for your attention again. There's another truth people rarely talk about. Sometimes we don't grieve the relationship. We grieve the person we thought they would become, the future we quietly built in our imagination, the vacations that never happened, the conversations we thought we'd have years from now, the home we pictured, the family we imagined, the ordinary Tuesdays we believed we'd share together. When those dreams disappear, it feels like you've lost more than one person. You've lost an entire future that only ever existed inside your heart. That's why the pain feels so confusing. You're mourning possibilities, not just memories. And possibilities are difficult to let go of because they never had the chance to disappoint us. They remained perfect in our imagination. But here's what healing eventually reveals. The future you imagined wasn't created by them alone. It was created by your capacity to love, your ability to hope, your willingness to dream. Those qualities didn't leave when they did. They still belong to you. Which means the future you were capable of imagining can still exist. It may simply exist with different people, different experiences, different joy. The person who left was never the only place your happiness could live. Sometimes we confuse unfinished stories with unfinished lives. They're not the same thing. An unfinished story simply means one chapter ended without explanation. An unfinished life would mean you've stopped writing. And you're still here. You still have chapters no one has read yet. You still have people you haven't met, lessons you haven't learned, peace you haven't experienced, love that hasn't found you yet. One day you'll tell this story differently, not as the day someone walked away, but as the season that taught you not to abandon yourself while waiting for someone else's return. You'll realize how much energy you spent trying to understand someone who never explained themselves, while barely taking the time to understand your own heart. Healing changes that. It turns your attention inward, not in a selfish way, in a restorative way. You stop asking, "Why wasn't I enough?" and begin asking, "What made me believe I had to earn love in the first place?" That's a very different question. Because one keeps you chasing people, the other helps you find yourself. Eventually, you stop measuring your worth by who stayed. You begin measuring it by how gently you learn to hold yourself after they left. And maybe that's the goodbye you never realized you needed. Not goodbye to them, Goodbye to the version of yourself who believed your story couldn't continue without someone else's presence. Because your life was never meant to end where someone else's choices began. Some people will be chapters. Some will be lessons. A rare few will become home. But every single one of them leaves something behind. If you're willing to look closely, even heartbreak leaves wisdom. Even silence leaves clarity. Even unanswered questions leave direction. So if you're carrying a goodbye you never got to say, know this. The words trapped inside your heart do not define your future. The absence of closure does not mean the absence of healing. And just because someone walked out of your story without saying goodbye, doesn't mean you have to keep waiting at the door. Sometimes the most loving thing you'll ever do is quietly close it yourself. Because peace doesn't always arrive after the perfect ending. Sometimes, peace begins the moment you stop waiting for one.